Good Saturday evening, everyone. It is your host, David Schlotthauer here, and welcome to another Saturday Night Live here on the channel, talking about the upcoming weather pattern, but also gonna have a little bit of fun as well. Similar to with what we did last Saturday, where we did another Saturday Night Live, actually. So, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So to start off the live coverage here, well, not live coverage, but you get the idea. We are seeing an atmospheric river. Let me just stop it right here. We do have some missing frames. So actually, you know what? Let's go to the College Due page. Okay. Which, by the way, I wanted to make it clear with you all that are watching this live stream that this is only for subscribers only. So if you are subscribed, you'll be able to chat. Otherwise, you'll have to wait a full minute. That is because that's to prevent a lot of trolls, a lot of spamming in the live stream during the session. All right, that's just to make things a little bit more secure and a little bit more safer for you all. All right. So looking at the satellite imagery here from the Call of Duty page, and what you will see, let me actually go to this. So let's wait until this actually loads because it has not fully loaded in all the frames yet. So let's just give that some time. All right, there we go. So what we have right now across much of the nation is a pretty active weather pattern, especially across the Intermountain West. That's been the thing for a while now. The models have been showing that, and now it has come true where we have had significant amounts of rainfall and some flooding already issued across the foothills of the Sierra. Lots of snow up here in across Washington and Oregon, where my friend Keith Evans, where he lives, been reporting a lot of snow, some thunder snow as well, with a convergence zone right on the backside of the Olympic Mountains. So yeah, there's been a lot of snow up here across the Cascade Range, and now this is moving into the Idaho and portions of Montana. But when you go east of the Rockies, yeah, you can't find anything in the way of active weather. This system is already moving offshore, well, way offshore already. We have a little bit of another clipper moving on by to the north that's bringing in some snow across Minnesota as well as the Wisconsin area. But overall, the pattern's pretty quiet right now. Although, again, Intermountain West, cannot emphasize that enough, been very busy, and it's going to remain that way for the entire work week, as the pattern generally favors that. And then, of course, across the deep south, temperatures are going to get more warmer in days to come because, yeah, what you don't see is this pattern. You don't see northwesterly flow coming down across the Midwest into the deep south and the mid-Atlantic. Instead, you have the flow that's doing kind of something like this, pretty zonal. All right, very zonal from west to east. And what that's going to do, well, it's going to keep a lot of the Arctic air away. It's going to keep it well to the north where it should be. It's pretty cold over here, but otherwise, that colder air is not going to come down anytime soon where it's going to cause problems. Although over here, there's going to be a lot of cooler weather on the way, especially for the middle to the end of this coming work week. All right, so that's a look at the satellite imagery. Here's our current observations right now. And yeah, it is cold up here. Temperatures are in the teens, but hey, I can take 18 degrees over the negative 30, negative 20 degree temperatures that you've had literally a week ago. And then when you get further south down here, yeah, temperatures in the 60s across Dallas, across much of Texas, into Oklahoma, southern Kansas. Yeah, it's pretty mild. Temperatures in the low to mid 50s there. And then when you get north, that's where there is some cooler air that is kind of locked and loaded there with temperatures in the 30s. But hey, it's nothing like you had just a week ago where it was dangerously cold. And then over here, this is where more of the colder temperatures are. In like the Albany area, much of New York, seeing temperatures in the single digits. Some areas down to 13 degrees. Bittery cold temperatures. happening here in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. And then, yeah, you go even further north than that, it's a little colder. So this is where all the colder air is. And you can even see up here, negative 35 degrees in Norman Wells in Canada. Negative 31 in Queen Elizabeth. So this is where the colder air is going to stay. Although, again, the Intermountain West is going to get some of that. And actually, some of that is already moving into portions of Seattle as of this live stream. And there's even some snow. Look at this. We've got snow levels really low down here. But then you get up here, snow levels in California are much higher. Okay, so you can see if we look at the Doppler radar, yeah, this is where the snow level is, right around 7,000 feet. So it's pretty warm across California right now, and you can't find any of that. But the snow is coming. I can promise you right now the snow is going to be coming in for lower elevations by the time we go into Tuesday, Wednesday, and even into Thursday. All right. Now, another thing that we're seeing is the orographic flow. You can see nothing going on in the lower elevations like the valley here. But when you get into the lower elevations, you start getting that rain. And some of this has been pretty heavy, with some flooding actually being reported in a few areas already. In the Pollock Pines area, some of the lower elevations have gone quite a bit of rainfall. In fact, in the lower foothills like Alta, Colfax, Nevada City, up to 3 inches of rain has already fallen, between 2.5 to 3 inches. And you get over here right around an inch. But look at this. Not much in the valley throughout the day. Sacramento, right around 1/4 to 1/2 an inch of rain has already fallen. All right, so that's what we're seeing right now as far as these rainfall amounts. And we have had decent rainfall amounts also in the coastal ranges, between about an inch to a couple of inches so far. But that's where all the rain is. And any snow you see up here won't get measured by our weather stations. But I can tell you there is snow falling down there in the Seattle area, okay? As well as portions there of, say, Portland, Oregon. Yeah, so now the thumbnail in this live stream is all about the snow for the Northern Plains and for the Northeast. And there have been some YouTubers already hyping up on this, that we are going to see feet of snow, several feet of snow, possibly 12 or say 5 to 10 feet of snow in portions of the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes. I will tell you right now, it's not going to happen. There's just no way it's going to happen. We will get a few snowstorms, but 5 to 10 feet of snowfall in the next 10 to 15 days is unrealistic. It is very, very unrealistic at all. So as we go forward here, what you'll see is, of course, lots of snow, atmospheric river hitting the Intermountain West, such as Northern California. And then you can see not really much going on here, other than maybe a few blips here and there of snow that come down, but nothing too significant at all. Most of the active weather is out across the Pacific Northwest. And then as we go forward, look what happens. There's our next system, by the way, hitting California. Moderate to heavy rainfall, high elevation snow, guaranteed here. Hey, Abby, how are you doing? We will be looking at several feet of snow here, not over here. Okay? And so when we go forward, so that is through Wednesday, by the way. Lots of rain, and this continues perhaps through Thursday, or Wednesday and Thursday. Some showers, some snow up here to the north. And then this is a concern right here. This is more than likely going to happen. We are going to have an ice storm across perhaps Michigan, Wisconsin, across the Northeast. I will be talking about this in tomorrow's video. I'm making a video tomorrow on this. Actually, maybe even tomorrow morning. I don't think I'll do a video tomorrow morning, but we're going to need to start talking about this nonetheless tomorrow with this ice storm for the Northeast. This is looking pretty serious. All right. And then you got some snow across the northern tier of that system that doesn't look to be overly heavy, but yeah, some pockets of heavier snowfall embedded within that. That moves into the Northeast by Thursday, so that's going to be the next snow that we're going to have to watch. And then look what happens. Another storm hits the Intermountain West. Nevada, portions there of California, or most of California, southern Oregon getting in on the snow again. So this is another storm system that's going to bring a lot of impacts to these areas, all right? And then watch what happens. This is when there's a lot of uncertainty in the models. And so what you're going to see on the Euro is craziness. Big snowstorms, maybe blizzard conditions. That's one model. Wait until I show you the GFS model. Not as aggressive as the Euro. Okay, but in the Euro, for it to show this, though, it is a little concerning. So that's what we have to consider. All right, oops, let me zoom out on that so you can see the whole layout. There we go. All right, so that is Friday into Saturday, and then this is Saturday right here. That's our next snowstorm. Okay, so exactly which snowstorm happens, where it happens, is to be announced this far out. This is 180 hours out. Okay, so if we go back in time, that's more likely going to happen, but where it happens is to be exact, okay? So between the last couple of runs of the Euro, have trended this actually further to the north. But I'll tell you what right now, maybe more impacts, or more than likely some impacts with this one. More heavy snow, maybe more ice for these locations, again, in the Detroit area. That moves into the Northeast. Ice kind of fades away. All right. And this would be for Sunday. Now, this is where we get into fantasy land, okay? I just want to make that clear here. This is where there's a lot of uncertainty in the modeling. We can see a big snowstorm. We may not see anything at all, all right? This is a very zonal flow, very zonal across the United States here. So there's a lot of uncertainty exactly if we get moisture here, we get colder air, any retractions to that colder air, or it sinks southward, we can get a snowstorm within this belt of faster moving air. But right now, that's what we're seeing, okay? So going into the day 10 time frame, this is where we get Fantasyland, and you're going to see some crazy, crazy models, all right, model runs of this. This is just pathetic. If someone is already reporting on this on their YouTube channel, I know a few people that are doing this. Come on. I mean, this is really far out. This is beyond the 10-day time frame. That is 258 hours out. 258 hours out. This is not until February the 11th. Okay, so this is really far in time. And if we go to the previous model run, 0Z run, where's our snowstorm? Well, what was all with the hype? It's still there. It's all broken up. But, like, what is up with the hype? Like, literally, 12Z run. There you go. There's your Snowmageddon storm system right there. I bet you it's not going to be on the next run, though. I would bet you $50 it's not going to be on the next run because this is really far out. All right, Fantasyland. Welcome to Fantasyland on the European model. And then this continues way out there in time through the 12th and the 13th of February. Another big snowstorm. And then, yeah, that becomes a nor'easter kind of, that nor'easter look to it. And then maybe another snowstorm after that. Another big snowstorm before, yeah, the European model just going ballistic. Going ballistic, let's look at those temperature anomalies. Hey, welcome Arctic Invasion. Really? Are you going to really actually verify? I don't think so. I don't think this is going to verify at all. Look at the last run. The last complete run of the European model. And then you look at this. Yeah. I bet you YouTubers are already talking about this, saying, oh, we're going to have a ugly Arctic outbreak coming in. Okay, I'm going to be more generous until we get closer to the event. Let's actually look at our ensemble on that. Let's look at the ensembles. That's what our ensembles are showing. So most of the members are showing near normal temperatures for the Deep South, even for the Midwest. Slightly below average, maybe about a degree or two. This is where most of the Arctic air is going to be up here in the northern end of the United States. But when you look at a deterministic forecast, 12Z run, that's what you're going to get. So, yeah. Will this verify? It could. In theory, it can. But it is really far out. This is the 16th of February. Today is the 1st. Happy Valentine's week, I should say, not day. Happy Valentine's week to all of you. Yeah, this is too far out. This is just ridiculous. All right, it's not. It could happen. There's always a chance of it happening. That's why it's on the models. But the chances of it happening are really, really low, like about 1% or lower right now. And as far as the repeated snowstorms, that is still to be worked out in the models. Here's a look at the GFS model, the Global Forecasting System, which actually has been more generous, to say the least, more realistic than the Euro, to be quite honest. Rainfall, snow for the Intermountain West of California, that continues through Wednesday, and look at this, through Thursday, dealing with a lot of rainfall, strong winds, you name it, going to be a big problem. And then there is that system right here for the weekend. That's going to be the next one that's going to bring in the ice. Oh, wait. This is going to be the one that brings in some of the ice right here for Pennsylvania area. Now, if we look back at the same model, look at what we have. So see, this versus this. So you can see there is differences in the modeling because of this zonal flow. This is not easy to work out on the models when you have a zonal flow pattern, because sometimes the colder air could overtake the warmer air, and sometimes the warmer air could overtake the colder air. This colder air wiggles back and forth, okay? It kind of wiggles because of that zonal flow. So therefore, we are seeing huge differences in the modeling on where this system sets up. But what we do know is there is going to be some wintry precipitation with this, but where it actually happens is to be worked out. Okay, that goes on by, and then this is the next storm right here. 180 hours out, we're seeing snow up here, freezing rain here, and rain down here. If we go back and look at the other model, the European model, out the same time frame, pretty similar on this one because it's a little more dynamic, right? We have cooler air trying to get forced southward, and then we got warmer air that's trying to go northward. So this seems to be more likely to happen, but there's going to be timing and intensity differences and updates to the forecast. And so therefore, this is a big possibility. This really is. And then when we get into the latter part of the weekend, into the February 9th timeframe, yeah, there's going to be another big snowstorm for New York. Supposedly the GFS is showing that. That moves out. And then another one. And this one looks pretty significant. Yeah, it's the same system actually. So yeah, there is some agreement here. One is showing it very stretched out, covering literally all the way from the Northeast all the way to Texas. And then we have the Euro that's more consolidated here with the snow, but showing a similar setup here with that. So when we go forward, there could be a lot of heavy snowfall. That dark blue on your screen, it does indicate heavy snow and freezing rain in these areas. Okay, and then down in the south, it's just going to be rain with that. And then maybe another little one, and then we'll see beyond that. All right. So that pattern is going to be very active, but right now it looks like across the upper Midwest and this whole area is going to see the most active weather for the next 10 days based on most of the modeling that we're seeing. Let's see the Canadian model. I'm just curious to see what the Canadian actually shows. See what that is telling us. Yeah, so similar here, ice storm for the Northeast. That seems to verify. And then we have another system right here. That's that second system that moves across the Great Lakes into the Northeast. That could bring some decent snow there. And then we'll just have to wait and see on how this little guy develops. We'll give it a couple more model runs. And if this continues to trend, probably going to start talking about it. We're really going to have to add that in. And boy, much colder air on the backside of this. The Canadian is going pretty crazy on that, actually. You can see much colder temperatures here. And yeah, sometimes I love models. They go pretty crazy with stuff like this, which, again, is to be worked out in future models. Now, okay. By the way, someone was asking me, are you in meteorology? I'm going to be in the next year. Yes. Going to go to either UC Davis or Delta College for that. Keith Dement, how are you doing? Sending good vibes. Thank you so much, Keith. I do appreciate it. So now, on to the snowfall totals. Some of you are probably wondering about this, and YouTubers have been saying, holy smokes, we're going to see 10 feet of snowfall or 15 feet of snowfall. Boy, that's really, really, really asking for problems, all right? So as we go forward here in time, yes, we're going to get snow here, but just how much? And so in simple terms, 6 or 7 day forecasts are more likely to be seen out there. In fact, your local news station uses 7 day forecasts. They don't really go out to 10 days or beyond because of the uncertainty, but does look like the majority of the snow is going to be up across the Intermountain West here, such as California, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. However, there will be some snow up here, but in the next 7 days, it doesn't look very significant at all. Anywhere between 6 to maybe 12 inches of snow over the next 7 days. That's about an inch a day. It's not a whole lot to write home about, okay? It's nothing too big. Now, what the concern is with that second additional storm, this is about out to 8-9 days out. It's showing more snow, but this is where a lot of the hype is coming from, and I've done it too, so I shouldn't be talking here really. The fear-mongering, the hype is coming from what goes on down here, all the snow. All right, what they're looking at is over the next 2 weeks, and they're gonna put this in their thumbnail. Oh, 10 feet of snow are coming. I mean, that's one model run. And then when we go out to 360 hours out, yes, it shows a ton of snow across the Intermountain West, big time. Talking 200 inches on this model run on the Euro. And then over here, big time snow, possibly 2 to 4 feet of snowfall over this period of time. But what I did not say is 10 feet of snow, and that's because, I mean, come on. It's very far out in time, and tracking each individual system is tricky, let alone. So, as a forecaster, we will look at this and be like, okay, the pattern is conducive for snow storms, right? Across the Northeast, the Great Lakes, and the Intermountain West, right? Let's look at our ensemble forecast. What does that actually show? All right, let's go out that far. And it is showing decent snow here across the Northeast. And of course, across the Intermountain West. But what you don't see is a lot of snow here. Even so, one model is showing this right here, okay? So not showing much on the ensemble there, but the deterministic forecast going crazy and the Northeast going really crazy on that snowfall total there for that area. Okay, but again, one model. If we look at the zero run, get ready to see a whole different ball game on the run from last night. Let me ask you this question. Where is the snow at? Where did it go? Right? Where did our snowstorms go on the model run? Where did it go? And then let's look at our 12Z run. Let's look at that right now. Yeah. That's the world of models. You know, one model doesn't show this, one model shows that. So, yeah, I'm going to give it another couple of days. I might start touching upon it tomorrow. Say, hey, we are going to get into an active weather pattern for more snow, but I'm not going to give you exact snow amounts, really. You know, in my videos, I'm going to say, just get ready for a very active weather pattern instead, you know? So that's what we're going to need to be watching right there, especially across the northern latitudes. The GFS model, the 18Z run, I mean, wow, very huge difference. Lesser snow over here, more snow here, and more snow here. So the GFS and Euro do agree for right now that there is going to be a lot of snow here for the Northeast. Let's look at the Canadian model, though. Let's look at that forecast. See, over the next 10 days, not much on the Canadian. And if we look at the 10-day forecast from the GFS, pretty bullish. And then looking at the Euro model, pretty much the same thing. So we know for a fact there's going to be snow up here over that 10-day forecast. Exactly how much, it's hard to say at this time. And it's not because I don't know how to forecast weather. Some of you have said that in the past. Like, you don't even know how to forecast weather because you always say possible, might happen. And that is because everything is probabilistic forecasting, right? You cannot say, oh, the Northeast is going to get 10 feet of snowfall over the next 10 days, and you hold me up to it. Because then what I'm doing here is, one, I'm giving you wrong weather information, and two, I'm fear-mongering, and three, I'm just not a good forecaster, right? So as a forecaster, we're going to look at trends. We're going to look at signals, right? Thank you, T-Man, for the $10 donation. I do appreciate it, bud. So as a forecaster, we're going to look at trends, ensembles, and this and that before we make an accurate conclusion that, oh, you all need to get prepared for this ice storm and this snowstorm because it's going to be significant, right? Because I'll tell you right now, and I'm going to be straight up honest and real with you all here in the chat. YouTubers, I'm not going to say who, there is many out there that I'm not subscribed to, I'm sure, that are clickbaiting. They're saying, oh, holy smokes, 10 feet of snow coming, and this and that. They're doing this just to get views, to get attention, because the weather is dead. A lot of people's channels are not very active, including my own here. And they're going to do this just to get attention. All right. And I even do it too. I'll admit, I even do it too, but I'm trying to hone down on things a little bit to a more realistic level. But long story short, the pattern is conducive for snowstorms. Are they big? Are they small? Are they south or are they north? We shall find that out once we get closer, once model agreement increases with this pattern that we're entering. Zonal flow, you got to understand this, all right? Cold meets a warm meets a cold. Things are not going to go very well. Okay? So now, let's take a look here at our ice totals, and you're going to also see this too on people's YouTube channels as well. I'm trying to clear up a lot of the hype and confusion and fear-mongering here. There have been a few YouTube channels that said, oh, we're going to be looking at a big ice storm and snowstorm. What they're looking at is over the next 2 weeks, all right? This is a combination of both. We really got to be careful on what we show viewers because, yes, this ice right here, this is 1 to 2 inches of ice over the next 2 weeks. That's very, very significant. That will knock out your power. That will bring down trees, power lines, and all sorts of bad things will happen with this much ice. But fortunately, this is also really far out. Thank you, Sandy, for the $10 donations, sweetheart. I do appreciate that. Which, by the way, hence Valentine's Day, right? So, first ice storm, in question for the GFS and Euro. They're both different on that. In fact, if we go back and look at that, you can see the ice storm is all the way up in here versus a GFS model is all the way down in here. So there is some uncertainty here on who's going to get the ice, on how much you're going to get within the first storm system that swings on through. But there will be some freezing ice rain problems. Just the degree of magnitude of those will have to be worked out in later model runs, since we are about 5 or so days out from this event from transpiring. Okay, so keep that in mind. But when we go forward, this is going to end up, you see the images like this and be like, oh my gosh, 2 inches of ice? Oh my, that's not good. Very far out, folks. Very far out. And if we look at the last run from last night, it was much further south. I could say in last night's run that big ice storm is headed for Dallas, Texas, based on that run. But if we look at the last run, let's look at the last run. Where did the ice storm go for Dallas, Texas? Where did it go? You know? So we have to be careful with what we use, what we forecast, and everything. Ice is much harder to predict. I'll be honest with you all. You can't get an ice storm down at all until hours before it actually happens. You know what I mean? Because 1 or 2 degrees are going to make a huge difference with those temperatures. If they're a little bit too warm, not going to get ice. If they're a little bit too cold, you're going to get sleet or snow. Okay? You have to have the right combination here of temperatures to get those ice storms. And right now on this model, this is straight up ridiculous of what the European model is showing. Okay? I mean, for the Northwest, come on. Pacific Northwest getting 3 to 4 inches of ice, impossible. It's not going to happen. It's just not realistic. But of course, people out there on YouTube that have weather YouTube channels will say, oh, there will be 3 or 4 inches of ice coming. When in reality, they're there for the clicks and for the panic. All right. So that's kind of what that pretty much is. Okay. And yes, I'm using my ego. I'm getting ahead of myself, but who cares? Who cares? All right. We're doing it as it really should be. Okay. So let's see. Let's go to temperatures, actually. Let's go to our air temperature forecast, because this is pretty ironic. Okay. So yeah, where is all the colder air, you might be asking? Well, it's there. It's just not here in the United States, right? So it's all up in Canada and even in the Pacific Northwest. But watch what happens here by the time we go into Monday and even into Tuesday. This is one heck of a temperature gradient, all right? And simply just by looking at this, okay, this is a very zonal flow, right? You're not seeing colder air in one part of the nation, warmer air in the other part of the nation. This is very zonal. This is cutting across much of the lower 48. In fact, areas down here might feel like springtime, maybe late spring, early summer. Temperatures down here in Texas in the 80s for Monday and Tuesday. Florida in the 70s and 80s. But up here in the Dakotas, it's going to be in the 0 degree mark, -5, -10 degrees during the day. So yeah, a huge gradient on contrast. And when we look at the jet stream forecast, that makes perfect sense. We have pretty much zonal across much of the nation, ridge out in the the high plains, trough here, and so you're going to advect warmer air at this in the lower levels of the atmosphere. And this continues. Look at very zonal, no Arctic air outbreak at all over the next 5 days. Okay, and if we actually go back here, yeah, look at that. I mean, this is quite phenomenal. This is a very tight gradient right here for Wednesday. And then Thursday, look at this. Temperatures close to 90 degrees. I just said it, folks. Close to 90 degrees in southernmost Texas here. Okay. mid to upper 80s for the most part. Florida in the 80s, deep south in the 80s, so very, very warm. I mean, recordly warm. And then look at this. Up here, still very cold. I mean, it's hard to believe you can literally drive from the south and be in the warm temperatures and just go north and be like, oh my gosh, I didn't get prepared for this. I didn't bring a jacket with me because I did not know it's going to be so cold. It's basically how it's going to be next week. To be that sort of thing. And then this continues. But then cooler air does try to return on the European model right about in here. But this is, again, really far out. Now, there's no more 80s in the forecast on this model. There's no more 80s. It's extremely cold. I mean, look at how cold this is. Very, very cold. This is what you call a hype cast forecast right here. I mean, temperatures in the single digits all the way down into northern Texas in mid-February. It has happened before. We know that for a fact. Is it going to happen again? This is really far out. The answer to that is not quite. We're not seeing any indications of that right now at the moment, okay? Yeah, Houston is going to stay quite warm, DJ the Broke. At least right now, Houston looks to stay quite warm for the next 8 to 10 days. More like 7 to 10 day forecast looks to be pretty warm there. And might even hold on to that through beyond the 10-day forecast before any colder weather comes. And I mean, if it even comes at all. Okay, we have to keep an eye on those ensembles and see what happens down the road. It's northern important. It's not important is saying, are we going to get another cold snap? Again, depending on where you live, it's going to mean the difference. If you're in the deep south or if you're in Florida, the answer is probably, if you're in Florida, forget about it. Very into the forecast period, you could get some cooler air. And I mean, there's a 1% chance of it happening in the first place. But yeah, that's what we're monitoring right now, is maybe something big coming towards the end. Here's a look at the euro, by the way, if you all are wondering about this. Now, this assumes that our AO becomes very, very negative. That is correct, right? Let's see. Let me make sure I got that down. AO. Yeah, so that is if the AO becomes very negative. As you can see here, let me go to full screen. Okay, right now we're in a positive AO. That means the jet stream is really strong. We have lower heights to the north than they should be, and then higher heights to the north means a negative AO, Arctic oscillation. And then when we look at the NAO, very, very negative. Very negative. But it has trended stronger, though. It has trended more negative. So that is going to be interesting in days to come. Let me see the ensemble. Yeah, it looks like here, too, on the ensemble, it has trended more negative. Therefore, this is something to consider into mid-February. If this does become very negative again, there's going to be more Arctic outbreaks potentially across the Midwest and the northern tier. And those Arctic outbreaks could trigger some big-time snowstorms if the pattern allows that. Okay, if it's zonal, not so much. But if we get Arctic air masses and we try to get some divergent flow aloft with a strong jet stream, then yeah, we can see some bombing, or not bombing, but more intense land-based cyclones. Right now, it has trended more negative, so that will be considered in later model runs to see if that actually does continue. Okay, so let's go back and look at the euro and look at the northern. I always like looking at the northern hemisphere because that's where we can see the pattern really well. So this is what we're in right now, pretty positively based. AO right now. Watch what happens, though, towards the end of the period. We start getting high latitude blocking in the Arctic, as you can see here, and that allows more colder air to escape southward. You can think about this as a big dome of colder air underneath it. All the colder air is going to try to escape southward under this pattern. And so, therefore, that's where that negative AO comes from. And it could remain that way based on this forecast. I mean, this is pretty crazy right here. Very, very significant in terms of low latitude trophiness, high latitude blocking in the Arctic like this. Another way we can see this is the stratosphere. So when we look at the stratosphere forecast, there is some hint at maybe a sudden stratospheric warming event that could shape up here. And right now what we're in is more colder temperatures. And by the way, these are, what are those temperatures? Negative 100 degrees Celsius up in the stratosphere. That is really, really cold. When we go forward in time, we can see that breaks away and we start getting really warm temperatures in the same area. And that's what's going to allow maybe that polar vortex to really weaken. So that's what this is showing, is that polar vortex, and then it kind of splits away perhaps right in here by mid-February. And as that happens, that's why we get this, this positive anomaly in the Arctic. Boy, it is sure windy outside tonight for my area. By the way, how are you all doing? How is your Saturday, folks? That's pretty much the weather talk. We will be here for a lot longer, though. I've only been talking for about 45 minutes, so that's great. So, just to review with what we talked about, is there an Arctic outbreak coming in mid-February? There's a slim possibility, okay? Is it 100% going to happen? No, it's not 100% going to happen. YouTubers are going to do this because the weather pattern is freaking dead. Freaking dead like The Walking Dead. I mean, it's literally just dead out there. And besides, people are liking the warm weather, so they're outside, not paying attention to YouTube, which, hey, take all the time you need to walk your dog outside. Forget about YouTube for a week or so. Literally don't do that. You know, be honest with yourself. David, how many times is the weather wrong? Quite frankly, it's always wrong. Because, you know why? Weather's not perfect. Models are not perfect. You know what? Actually, let me show you an example of that. You know, so if we go to here and look at our forecast, so this is literally now, okay? And I want you guys to pay very close attention to this. What's up, Robbie? How are you doing? Glad your guys' day is going good. Hey, Raptor, how are you? By the way, Raptor, you've been getting a lot of rain up there. You're stealing the rain from us, Raptor. Stop stealing the rain from us. We haven't had much down here. Only about, since yesterday, since this began, we only had about a half an inch of rain. No. So the stratospheric warming event is not a sign of climate change. This happens periodically. It's because the stratospheric polar vortex is weakening as we go into the summer months, as we slowly make that transition from the winter months to the summer months. So the stratospheric polar vortex is going to gradually weaken, but sometimes these little disturbances that get flung into the stratosphere could actually lead to serious disruptions. And what ends up happening, you get warming events up there. In fact, The stratosphere is actually exceptionally cold, colder than what most people actually think. In fact, is usually negative in the equator, directly above the equator. You go straight up. The stratosphere is actually negative 120 degrees Celsius. Negative 120 degrees Celsius-ish, usually in that range. And sometimes with these intense polar vortexes, like the one we showed you with the cold anomaly, it can get as cold as negative 100 to negative 110 Celsius. But sometimes it warms up because of sudden stratospheric warming events, which they are normal. It's part of the weather, part of the stratospheric polar vortex. But once they occur, if they make their way down into the lower levels of the stratosphere into the tropopause, where us humans breathe that air, we can get a big pattern shift. That's why our patterns change throughout the course of a month. We are never going to stay in a zonal pattern here for a month and a half or 2 months. It's just not possible. Patterns do change. What's up? Yeah, Robbie again. So I wanted to show you something here. Do you guys notice now a difference when I go between the two models? Look at the chart here very carefully. Do you guys notice any change between the 12Z and the 18Z run? I want to see if you guys can notice this. I'm switching between different models so you can see this. Because I wanted to show you something, because it relates to that weather's not perfect. When did I first start getting into weather? Was when I was very young, like 6 years old. What's up, educated redneck? How are you doing? You are Caden, right, on Discord, correct? You're Caden on Discord. How are you? Okay, so notice how no one really noticed that. But I'll tell you, if you look at between two runs, in the short term, in the next 6 hours, you'll notice subtle changes. And that's because weather is not perfect, okay? Weather has a mind of its own, okay? Oh, yeah. Okay, I thought it was Caden. Okay, it's Kevin. Sorry. So you can see that there are minute changes in the atmosphere. Even if we go back to 0Z last night, you can see between 0Z and this run, you can see how things have changed just gradually, just gradual changes in the atmosphere. Okay? And that little change leads to bigger changes in time. All right? That's what a model is. It takes the current conditions, feeds it into a supercomputer with all the observations, satellite data, and whatnot, feeds it into a supercomputer, and then makes the run, makes the forecast out to how many hours out. And in this case, the Euro goes out to 360 hours out. So if we go back, actually, we can see this on the run-to-run delta, which is between different runs. So if we go forward, you can see areas here in, let's do this, right here. If you see dark green colors, kind of gray colors, and then you get these red anomalies, those are differences between runs. So this color here means there's a big trough that recently popped up on the model in the northeast. On this run, there's been a big ridge, or the heights have gone up between runs. So if we look back at that on the 12Z run and the 0Z run, look at the difference. You can see a huge difference right there on the model. You can definitely see that. And so this, as a forecaster, we can look at this and see that, oh, wow, there's a lot of differences in the between runs when you see blue colors or red colors. That's the most extreme change you can get. And then the white colors mean there hasn't been really much change between two runs, but it doesn't always stay that way. I want to understand that for you, a lot of you that are watching, okay? So, any questions about weather models, anything about the snow that I just talked about a little bit ago in the live weather talk with David Schlotthauer? Because a lot of you are saying, like, is this really going to happen? In theory, it's more likely going to happen, but just how much snow with each storm, you know? How much snow will there be for Chicago? So in this case, I'm not going to go out very far out in time. So for Chicago, in the next 7 days, anywhere between maybe 1 to 5 inches of snowfall in the 7-day forecast. What's up, Colleen Priest? How are you doing? What have I missed? Snow where? Mainly in the north and the Intermountain West. That's where most of the snow will be. Yeah, so there is definitely a winter battle zone that's going to happen here between very cold air to the north and really warm air to the south, okay? And again, how dominant is that warmer air or colder air from the north versus the warmer air from the south, okay? That's why zonal patterns are tricky to forecast. But if the pattern allows it, we can get some big storms. We can. And here's a look at the 250 millibar jet stream. And yeah, look at that. That's pretty zonal, folks. That's zonal. That's not this. We're not seeing anything like this where we get a polar vortex that kind of comes around like this, right? This is very much zonal all throughout here. And that is why we're not seeing what you might want to see, right? And boy, that's a big, oh my gosh, I'm just seeing this for the first time. That is a strong, strong trough and polar vortex right there. That actually does happen on the GFA or European model. That will make headlines. That will make headlines. It's a pretty strong jet stream. That's a 170 knot jet cutting across there. That is pretty phenomenal. Oh, yeah. For a lot of those that are watching, please don't forget to hit the like button. I appreciate if you guys could like the stream. Because, yes, I plan on doing these every Saturday. These weather talk sessions. Just these weather talk sessions. Just looking at the weather, having some fun, playing some weather games. Actually, I wanted to show you something, folks, that I showed my friend Ethan the other night. I created 350 mile-an-hour winds in that weather simulation. And I want to see if I can create it again with you all here watching. After all, it is a fun night. Yeah, not many people work on Saturdays, so I think that's a perfect day. As long as my schedule allows outside of YouTube, we will make that happen. We will make it happen easily. And it would be scheduled between 5 and maybe 6 o'clock at night, Pacific Standard Time. So, yeah, pretty crazy stuff. Also, another announcement that I wanted to tell you all about is please take the YouTube channel survey if you haven't already. Let me get the link for that, actually. I would really appreciate if you all can do the survey. Shoot, where is it? Oh yeah, there we go. So this is a link to that survey, and I'm gonna pin it here. I need a lot more of you to vote. All right, I know you're gonna hear this a lot in future videos and live streams, but this is extremely, I cannot say it enough. I cannot say it enough. It is very important that you guys take the survey. We only have 14 responses so far, so please make sure, because what I do with this is I'll look over it and I could actually make a decision based on your guys'. By the way, this is a little bit of a typo. I recently fixed it. I meant to say, are my thumbnails clickbaity? Earlier, it didn't sound like that. So if you did voted yes, please. I don't think you can change that back again, but I'll understand. A lot of you are saying no, I'm sure, with the thumbnail part. But yeah, just do this. It really does help out a lot. I know it's a long survey. I'm sorry. It's once a year kind of thing. But the feedback is important. Have you been to the store, folks, where on the pin pad you'll be asked to do a survey? That's kind of what this is. Only it's much more detailed, and it might take you at least 5 or 10, maybe 15 minutes to complete. Thank you so much, Chicken Land Diva. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that a lot. Because your feedback, folks, your feedback is as important as it could ever be. Without your feedback, I don't know what you guys want me to upload next, or what do you want me to upload next on, or what, live streams and stuff. However, the Saturday night lives have not been incorporated into the survey, so keep that in mind. David, how do you make your thumbnails? I don't know if that's probably another spam. Yeah, another. David, is there a weather boy you can trust? Okay, no. Another. Do you want to put the result of your survey in the Excel program? I don't know what you're referring to there, Ravind. But yeah, but the survey is really important, okay? Because I do want to improve my production. I want to make this my full-time job. Really, that's the ultimate goal here. Full-time business, boys. Full-time business. What's up, Joe? Joe Corley, how are you doing? Are you ready for more snow for your area? Are you ready? A weather bot that doesn't lie. When it comes to bots, I'm not a bot technician. But yeah, the northern tier here seems the signals are increasing there for snow. Just how much is going to be? It's going to be a thing we are going to need to watch. We're going to need to watch. Also, if you guys want to check out the Weather Force Discord server as well, sorry for all the promotion here, but yeah, please check this out. I haven't been on there for a couple of days, but I will be on there for a little bit tonight. So if you all want to check out the Weather Force Discord server, please consider doing so. There is a link in the description. It should work, right? The link in the description works. If it doesn't, let me... Oh, there's no link in the description. Crap. All right. So let me get that link and just send it. So here is the link to the Discord server. This winter here in Detroit has been cold and boring. Yeah, not for long, though. Not for very long. You could be getting an ice storm on Wednesday into Thursday for the Detroit area. Boy, if the Euro comes to be correct, boy, Detroit is looking at quite a bit of snowfall. Lots of snow. David, please answer. Does chat GPT that I know AI forecasting is evolving quite quickly, so artificial intelligence in weather forecasting is evolving nicely. GPT, I haven't heard of that. Hey, TRG Tornado, probably another one of those duplicate accounts. But yeah, are you all ready for Valentine's Day? Okay, then pretty random, Revand. It's gonna be 50 degrees on Monday. 50 degrees in Michigan. You're joking with me, aren't you? You're joking. Let's see. No, you're not. Wow, that's warm. That is really warm up there. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow, way above average. Way above average. And actually, probably, yeah, even warmer on Thursday. Thursday night could be in the mid 50s for your area in Detroit, Joe. And then maybe negative temperatures over Michigan. That actually happens. Yeah, or nay on the early spring. Hey, we got another month to go before meteorological spring even happens, so it is wintertime technically. Well, it is for sure wintertime. In some portions of the nation, that is. Between 5/100ths of an inch, Joe, and maybe a quarter of an inch of ice. Again, ice is not easily predicted. You can't predict that very easily. When is winter not really officially really here? In the spring or summer? Mainly in the summer because that's when the temperatures are warmest. Yeah, sunny. Yeah, ice in Maryland, there's a slim chance of that, yeah. T-Man 2217. Where do you live again? Which state are you in? Because you're saying winter is over in my area. You're probably in Florida or Texas or Louisiana somewhere in the deep south. And yeah, at that point, winter is over temporarily. I think you'll have one more blast for the season, and then I think gonna really warm up. Will there be another Arctic blast this month? Magda. Right now, models are showing that there is the potential for another Arctic blast in the middle of the month, but there is a slim chance that it occurs. But the negative AO does suggest that that does seem probable. Wait, Joe, you're in a drought. Really? I didn't even realize that. You're not really in a drought. Wow, look at southern half of California, though. Extreme drought there, but look at northern. My area is not in a... We are technically not in abnormally dry, so nice to see that. I live out in the desert and the warm seasons are miserable. Okay, so you're out in the desert. So you're in the desert southwest. Hey! Welcome, brother, to the Pate. Yeah, so you're probably in the Phoenix area, Tucson, Arizona area. If you are, I'm sorry. I know. It's disappointing. Winter is definitely over for you. Yes, for sure. On the European model, you have temperatures in the 70s and 80s coming up. In fact, temperatures for your area could be 5 to 10 degrees above normal. You just base it off the Euro model. GFS, also pretty warm there. So, unfortunately, yeah, Arizona, not looking so wet and cold. Oh, you like my mic, Ravind? Okay, again, if you have not liked the stream yet, please like the stream, you guys. Come on. Get me up to 100 likes at least. Also, subscribe if you haven't already. Been here for an hour, so yeah. Yeah, Ravin, just come on. You know, I know you're saying random things, but when it comes to Excel stuff, I don't know. I don't want you hidden off the channel, all right? Want you here having fun, Ravind. But yep, moderators will do their job. They will do their job for me, and they will block spammers or any repeated stuff. We gonna play some good games, right? Yeah, but I think we're gonna aim towards that weather game. How does that sound? You guys want to see me play that? The weather game? Sorry, David, I am ADHD hyperactive. Oh. That's unfortunate. I feel bad. I know a few people that have ADHD and they cannot even focus. They cannot sit still. So I do understand how you feel about that and where you're coming from. Yep, I like winter to hang around a little longer because summers out here suck. Oh, I know. 120 plus degrees it's been in Arizona. Oh yeah. I can understand that. Hey, you know what? That's why, T-Man, you got to live up here in Northern California or move to Reno, Nevada. It's not as hot in Reno. And besides, in the wintertime, it's much colder. Well, Ravind, if it continues, though, our moderators are going to have to step in, all right? To keep the chat rolling smoothly. Speaking of a gradient really quick, I wanted to show you this. Look at how tight this temperature gradient is over Colorado. Okay, I don't think there's much questions about the weather pattern. What's up? Hello, hello, beautiful, beautiful. What did Delaware to Georgia? Oh, okay, Christian, Ohio. What did Delaware to Georgia's for party town, Maryland? Don't know what you mean by that. Okay, are you guys ready to see some weather in motion? Since there's not really much to talk about, I wanted to get through the weather pattern, but I think this is going to be talked about in my future videos that we're going to need to watch. And I want to make it clear in my live streams for those that are watching too. If you have not taken the survey yet, please do so. I need you all to please take the survey. We only have 17 people that have voted or not voted that took in the survey. So the more people we can have to take the survey, the more the better it's going to be, because it's hard to make a decision when there's just 17 people. You can take it after the stream or right now if you would like. Hey Diana, how are you doing? A lot warmer for you, isn't it? Much warmer weather for your area. Would there be another winter storm in Tennessee still? Right now doesn't look. Let's see. Right now in Tennessee, it doesn't look very likely. Thank you for taking the survey, Diana. Please answer honestly too, okay? Don't be David biased over here, making the voting for the best solutions, or like saying, "Oh, no, they're not clickbaity," because I know my thumbnails may be a little clickbaity. And that's more important too, Liz. Like, I need help to decide on that too, because I do feel like my thumbnails are a little clickbaity, but at the same time, I have to brand myself. I have to expose myself out there, No, you do not, Christy. This is what it will ask you. It'll say your YouTube channel name or your real name right here, up here. Your YouTube channel profile name or real name. Okay, you have a choice to use your YouTube channel name or your real name. You can see other people have already voted. Okay, and then just from there on. That way I know, like, okay, this is a viewer. Okay, this is who I have watching, so I know who voted or who did the survey. Is Louisiana going to get more bad rainstorms? Barbara is asking. Let's go to that. Right now, Louisiana is not looking too significant with its rainfall totals, actually, to be quite honest, from the 12Z output of the Euro. But I'll tell you what, not anywhere on this map, okay? I want to make it really clear, too. Not anywhere on this map do you see any more rainfall than what California is going to get. I mean, over here is wet, but look at what is going on over here in California. Like, seriously, look at how much rainfall is going to be falling over the next 2 weeks. If we actually look at that a little closer, look at how much rainfall. I mean, pretty significant. Pretty significant. And when we look at the snowfall totals, big time snow. Any chance of snow in North Carolina over the next week or so? No snow is on the way. Nothing. Just going to be a bit too warm. Bit too warm for your area. I think you're probably more than likely going to be done with the snow for the season. If you do get any snow, maybe an inch or two. Christie in Ohio, I don't do tsunami forecasts because that's part of the USGS department. Once in a while, I will get into oceanic forecasts, like if it's a hurricane. If there's like a hurricane out there near Bermuda and there's going to be swells that impact the ocean, I will do some of the surf forecast. In fact, you know what? You made me want to do one really quickly. So let's take a look. Hey, by the way, look where it's snowing on the European model. Look at where all the snow is falling. A lot of the snow is falling out here in the middle of the Pacific. No, cheesy, I don't do that. By the way, look how strong this jet stream is across the Pacific. Look how strong that is. That is a 220 knot jet stream. That is a 220 knot jet stream. Nope, Sammy, there's no chance at all. All right, I am concerned David is not following the Americans with Disability Act by banning special needs Revend. We did not ban the person off the channel, all right? We did not. But let's get to our wave forecast, and then let's go over to... Yeah, there's some big storms out there that are going to generate some high surf. See the GFS WaveWatch 3 model. Let's see what that's showing us. Yeah, so there is going to be some swells out there, of course, for the ocean of the Pacific. For the Atlantic Basin, let's see what the Atlantic is looking like. Oh, gosh, yeah, there is some big surf. Let me actually... Can we go to the north? Let's see if we're able to do that. Yeah, there is some surf up there in the northern end of the Atlantic. 50-foot waves. It's pretty bad. That's some big time surf right there. Euro's not as aggressive on that, though. Maximum individual wave height. So if you're wondering about those could reach almost 70, 80 feet high. 80-foot waves. Maximum individual wave height. Okay. All right. How much rain could we see in my area? Probably about 5 inches. Oh, yeah, Raptor. Oh, yeah. You bet there's a lot to talk about in California. Not raining there, though, in where you're at, though. But I'll tell you, look at this. Look at all in the Sierras. That's orographic in motion. You can see where all the rain is forming. You can see how it just forms right there. That just heavy stuff coming down. Heavy rainfall. But they're getting some good rain up there. Oh, there's going to be a lot more, Sammy. You have not seen a forecast yet. Let's see if we can go over to the... Let's go to here. I will show you serious rainfall totals. How does that sound? Let's go to here. Yeah, take a look at that for a second. That's through Friday. Through Friday, some areas up here in the foothills could get over 20 inches of rainfall. Yesterday, it showed up to 30 inches of rainfall in some of these areas. I'm being dead serious. Right in here, serious. Actually, all the way... yeah, there it is. 20 to 30 inches of rainfall in Lassen National Park. So all the way in here, there is going to be... Thank you, chicken. Thank you for tuning in, Diana. T-Man, the fires are out in Southern California, but they are still containing them because they have to do the parameter and stuff. I have to say there's not going to be a whole lot of relief coming in the short term for that area. So if we go to California really quickly, let's take a look here at our forecast. Not much rain expected there. However, there is going to be some rain down there in SoCal on Wednesday. And then maybe more for the weekend. So yes, there is some improvement coming for SoCal. And only about a half an inch to maybe an inch of rain is expected, which is better, but it's way below average for this time of the year. Remember, that area hasn't gotten hardly any. And then maybe more after that, but we'll see. This is pretty far out, and it's showing more rain. Mainly in Northern California, the chances of that occurring are higher. Daniel West, thank you for the $5 donation, partner. I do appreciate that. So most of the rainfall is gonna fall north of that, but there is some relief coming. There is a little bit, okay? That's better than anything else. I don't think it's going to completely resolve the fire situation because of how bone dry the vegetation is down there. I mean, you got to understand this. Some areas, vegetation moisture levels are at historically low levels in that area. So it is going to take quite a while for things to improve there. And given that Southern California is at extreme drought right now, that's a level 3 out of 4 on the drought severity index. That's not good either. So that's where we stand right now for Southern California. Terrible. Looking not so great for those areas. Northern into California, no drought at all. In fact, my area, we are not under a drought at all. We're only at a D0. Actually, not even a D0. There's no category over us, which is nice. With all this rain that we're getting, we will stay clear of that D0 category. Oh, yeah, Sammy, yes. So the 30 inches of rain that comes down in the foothills, there will be the risk of mud rock slides as well. Let me go to pivotal weather. I think there's even a moderate risk for flooding or for heavy rainfall in the Southern California area. Is that a wind advisory? Okay, I thought that was a wind advisory for us. We're under a flood watch, by the way, so just to put that into perspective. There is a flood watch for us. Okay, so let's get to the day 3. So the day 3 slight risk covers the higher elevation, so it's more up in here for Sunday and a Monday. But then as we go into day 3, it shifts further south. Wait, what in the heck? Okay, they don't have it out here. There is a slight risk, though, further south. Yeah. What? They actually updated it. There was a slight risk, though. That's funny. That is very funny. There is no... Oh, day 4. Day 4 is a slight risk for us. For California. So let me go to the full screen so you guys can see this. So there is a day 4 slight risk that's probably going to go moderate in future outlooks, especially in the foothills, is where I think there's going to be a moderate risk of heavy rainfall. And even in the northern mountains of the Bay Area, we could see a moderate risk out for flooding in that area too for heavy rainfall. So that's going to be the thing, and a rare marginal risk for heavy rainfall for Southern California. So yeah, there is relief coming for that area. Let's go to day 5. Day 5, there's nothing out for that. Pretty far out. And then maybe something bigger coming on Thursday and a Friday. That'll probably be the next marginal whatever risk is out, because there is another system that is going to be moving in for the end of this coming week. So pretty much we have rain for the entire work week. It's just going to rain. Some areas could have rain longer than 7 or 8 days. Some of the foothills could have rain all the way through Saturday night, a week from today. So that is going to be the concern. So that system goes through, and then this little guy comes through, and that's going to bring in more rainfall. And that's for Thursday. And then that moves through, and then maybe more to follow after that. And that's going to lead to a lot of problems. All right. All right, we're going to play our weather simulation game right now. I think that takes care of a lot of the weather discussion part of this, and now we're just going to have a little bit of fun and play our weather simulation game. And we're going to get some crazy winds here. Yep. It's going to be ugly here. It's going to be bad. So let's do this. I'm going to make some mountains, because that's the only way this is going to work, is if we make mountains. So that's the mountains that we've created. So we got 15,000 foot level mountains here. This is going to be epic. This is going to be so epic. We cannot forget to add the Gulf. So we're going to add some moisture to all of this. So we're going to increase. So that's that. Sea surface temperatures, we're going to bring that up to 32 degrees Celsius. And we are really going to increase everything. Okay, so land, lake evaporation, that's what I want. 90-degree water temperatures, folks. 90 degrees. Yeah, look at that. Got some nasty clouds going on. What is that? Those are clouds. I'm making clouds. And this is going to be insane. So... And there's the snow. The snow is in white. So you can see all the snow coming down. So now let's get the wind going. That's probably the most exciting part of all of this, is getting the wind going. Here we go. Let's get the wind. The wind is going to be picking on up. Can already see it picking up here in the higher elevations. Look how much snow has fallen. Look at all that snow. It's all covered in white. Jeez, it's windy outside. Jeez Louise, the snow is insane. Insane snow. Yeah, 30 inches of snow? That is a lot of snow that has fallen. Oh gosh. Big time snow there. What this is, folks, this is the 2D Weather Sandbox game. It is very fun. Let me get the link to it for you guys so you all can check it out. I highly recommend downloading this. This thing is probably the funnest game you could ever dream of. You can make your own weather anytime you want. It is by far the most exciting game you can get. It's free too. There's no cost. There is no cost whatsoever. And look at the snow coming down. You do need to dry out the air a little bit more, though. Let's turn it over to daytime again. What's up, Linda? How are you doing? How are y'all doing? It is. You look at how hot this is. Look how warm the air is. 90 degrees. Now watch what happens. Watch what we create over here. Maybe it won't work. Please work. Come on. Air's gotta get hotter. Air's gotta get hotter. Oh, I think we're gonna start. We're gonna starting to mix out. Start on the mix out. Come on. Why is this not even working? Oh, I think here it comes. Oh, it's coming. It's trying. Ooh, that dew point was so low. There we go. There we go. Finally, we were able to mix that air all the way down to the surface. Briefly, at least. Briefly. Look at that downdraft. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And look at the curl. If you look at how the wind is flowing. Guys are not talking. Where's the interaction? Hello. I was excited to bring this up for you guys. Yeah, you're here, Cheesy Weather, but no one else. See what it looks like down over here. Geez, it is 90 degrees over here where the air is sinking. Look how dry that air is. Mindy, how are you doing? Oh my gosh, look at this down. Look at how strong. 140 miles. Look at this. 140 mile an hour winds. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Down to the surface. Look at how intense the wind is coming down. Did you guys see that? That thing came way down. Still very strong. Actually blowing snow. That's orographic flow, folks. That's orographic flow. That's what orographic flow looks like. I don't even know if it's snowing up there. Maybe. Look how fast that wind is moving. Yeah, look at the lenticular clouds. Look at the wave. Look at the standing wave that I created. Look at that. Mindy, this is a weather simulation, so this is anywhere. Look at that. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Cheesy. But yeah, look at the lenticular clouds that I made. And that wind is pretty strong. We're going to make the winds up to 300 now. How does that sound? So this is what orographic flow looks like right here. Maybe sunny over here on this side of the mountain, but you get over here, it's snowing, foggy, storming, windy. Look at that. Bring on the rain. Shadow sight is boring. Okay, we'll bring on the rain. What I'm going to need to do, though, is turn down the winds. Let me increase the drag, and we'll do that. Got some blowing dust, actually, out of this. So what I'm going to need to do is bring down the temperatures. You know what I'm going to do? Actually, you know what's going to be really cool? Is just delete this mountainside. And what I'm going to do... Oh, why did our day and night cycle... I need the surface temperatures to warm first. Boy, that was a serious windstorm, though. So let's take away all the dust. And we are going to get a lot of craziness. I want those temperatures to really heat up first. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, yeah. So we're going to turn down our drag again. Basically resets the motion of the atmosphere. So let the ground heat up. And then what we'll do is get some wind going. Gonna get more eventful. Hey, Jordan, how are you doing? How are you doing, buddy? Wow, look at our dew points. Look how dry it is over here. Look at all this drier air, and then it gets moist. Dew points in the 60s. What's up, George? How are you doing? George Gray. So once the air heats up enough to where I think it's super adiabatic, we are going to do something pretty stinking crazy here. We are really going to get some thunderstorms going. Actually, we are going to increase this to 7,000. So our temperatures are coming down. Since we have a temperature inversion, this is not going to work very well, but I promise it's going to work well. Look at how large that cape is, though. Okay, our wind is looking good, so we are going to turn the wind down a little bit. And I'm going to show you something really cool. Once we can bring down the temperatures up here. This is going to take a little bit of time, but it's worth the wait. So we need to bring down the temperatures loft. Should St. Louis be on the lookout for snow? Not right now. At least through the next 7 days. So what we're going to create is once these temperatures get cold enough. Are you all excited to see lake effect snow in action? That's what I'm going to try creating. Is lake effect snow. Actually, we're going to turn our wind. Okay, our wind is set still. Look how steep these lapse rates are. Look how steep those things are. Oh, big time severe weather. Once we bring our temperatures down. But it's going to be a little bit because I'm cooling the atmosphere down. Ooh. There's a decent storm right there. Yeah, got some storms going. And here is the snow. The white stuff is snow coming down. And then it turns into rain as it falls. Ooh, boy, that was a strong storm right there. Look at that rain coming down. Oh my goodness. Look at what I just created. Wow, did you guys see that? Man, the wind is blowing. Sure windy here tonight. Okay, I'm going to need to dry out the atmosphere really quickly. Oh boy, I better slow down my winds now. Look at all that dust. I'm creating way too much dust. So what I'm doing here is I'm cooling down the temperatures. And actually, I'm going to bring down the lake water temperatures as well. And knock those temperatures down a lot. All right, so our lake waters should be primed to go. Once our temperatures aloft come down enough, it's going to be Snowmageddon time. We have a lot of dust, though. That's the big problem. Lots of dust. So look how cold our temperatures have gotten. Once we get cold enough, it'll be lake effect snow time. Oh, we're about to get snow. Oh, it's going to be snowing on the surface really soon. Okay, our atmosphere is bouncing around a little bit. Here we go. Are you guys ready to see lake effect snow? Here we go. Look how cold it is aloft. Very cold. I'm going to make a little hill, though, so the cold air goes in one direction. Ready to see this. Here we go. Here we go. Lake effect snow. Lake effect snow is coming in. Kind of lake effect snow-ish. Oh, there it is. There's a colder... Oh, there it is. Or lake effect cloud cover, I should say, huh? Oh, shoot, what did I do? No. Our winds picked up. Not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to... Look how cold it got. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. Waiting for the cold air to... Jeez. Look how cold the air is. I'm making a little tornado. See little spin ups. Look at that. Almost there. Once we get down to -10, I think it'll be perfect for some lake effect snow. How cold is this air right here, though? -140 degrees. Oh my gosh. -140 at that level. Whoa, that is cold. That is really cold. Okay, here we go. Now I think we're done with the cooling. Now let's let the atmosphere stabilize really quick. Turn this down a lot. Turn down the drag now. And look at, got some lake effect snow. Look at all the lake effect snow. Yeah, look at lake effect snow. Look at. You can see the moisture forming right here. And there's your lake effect snow that's forming. It's already warming up. Don't think it's the best snowstorm, but it will do. What I just created. $200-mile-an-hour winds. Oh my goodness. Look at this. 200-mile-an-hour winds. 200-mile-an-hour winds. Oh, I better turn on the drag. What's up, Candy HR? How are you doing? Did you see all that snow, you guys? Holy cow, that was a lot. That was a lot of snow. Okay, let's turn down our drag again. Do you guys see that? I mean, that was a ton of snow that came down. Boy, our upper layers right here are awfully cold. Look how cold our temperatures. I'm going to make the air as cold as it could ever be. See how cold we can make this. We got down to almost negative 200. Negative 200. Okay, it's almost 8 o'clock. Wow, time goes by fast. Oh, there we go. Negative 220 degrees. See what the temperature at the surface is. Negative 60. Negative 60 degrees. Oh my gosh, talk about an Arctic outbreak. Yeah, this is not survivable. You can see the diamond dust. All this is actually diamond dust in the air. It's so cold. Look at all the snow. And you can see it right here forming. You can see how lake effect snow forms. That cold air moves over to the warmer lake waters. If we actually bring up our visualization on that, it's so cold. It doesn't even work. It's too cold. That is crazy. So cold right now, the water. Has warmed up a little bit though, but not by much. Hi from Canada. What's up, Rose Thomas? How are you doing, sweet? Not sweetie. Partner, how are you doing? Negative 25 there, Celsius. So let's see if we can convert this to Celsius. So we can make this Celsius. No, not that cold. Not that cold in the game. It's colder than that. It's not as cold where you're at, though. Look how cold it is aloft, though. And this is where all the snow is happening. Nice, keeping warm. Hey, here's the thing, Rose. Imagining it being negative 200 degrees. Like my simulator's showing. And will it ever warm up? So funny it's not warming up. Oh, it's warming up here, though. Gone a little warmer. See, our station, weather station, is showing what? Negative 30. So it's warmer there. It's a lot warmer. But it's still off the charts. Still too cold. Look at 100 inches of snowfall. 100 inches of snowfall. Can you believe that? 100 inches of snowfall on the side of this mountain right here. That is crazy. So it is warming up here more notably. You can see the red line coming closer now, so it is warming up. Oh yeah, we are heating up the air significantly now. Significantly. All right. I think I'm gonna head off in 10 minutes. My back. So yeah, it's snowing over here pretty good. Some good snow. Now look how heavy that snow is coming down. That snow is dumping. It's ridiculous, dude. Snow is coming down. Snow is coming down. What would 100 inches of snow do? Bury a lot of things. It'd do a lot. It is warmer aloft, though, so once that surface heating gets going, we'll heat up the air mass. The air mass will warm up nicely. Here we go. So this runway will be the source of that heating. Here we go. It's going to heat up. Should get it to almost freezing. So not as cold. See how much surface heating can actually happen though. There we go. Our temperatures have finally warmed up. Yeah, it's warming up. Nice warmer weather. Not as cold. I'll tell you that right now. Not as cold. Definitely cold enough for snow, though. That is a guarantee. More than cold enough for snow. What am I trying to do? Just have fun. There's not much. Trying to do is create a big more snow. Look at almost 200 inches of snow has fallen right there. Yes, so I have made it really warm. Too warm. All right, I think. Oh, it's only 5 minutes too. Do you guys have any questions about this at all that we're playing? Thank you so much, Semi 3028. Maybe next week we will do that. We will play the Storm Chaser game. How does that sound? So that's what we'll do next week. Let's play the Storm Chaser game. Whoa, that's cold. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Let's play that really quick for a little bit. Guys have been patient, you know. Speaking of snow, look at this background image. Wonder where this was taken from. Look at all that snow. Or that permafrost, looks like. Let me go to Steam. Let's see Steam. Oh, crap. I have to install this thing, this whole game. This might take a while. This might take a while. Yeah, it's going to take another couple of hours. It's going to take another couple of hours. Why did I uninstall it? I do not know why. Oh, maybe I never had installed it onto the computer. That's probably what it is. It's going to take another hour to install it, though. Well, you know what? Let's play with weather models. That's what we can do. I hope all this snow happens. It's my simulator. Let me see what our storm is looking like for our area. Gotta wait, gotta wait. Looks like it is definitely going to be a windy storm, though. Definitely going to be windy. It's a lot weaker, though. A little weaker than on the models. See what the NAM is showing on that system while we're waiting. Interesting. Dang it. One more run to go, then it should capture most of the event. All right. All right, I think I'm going to head off. Start stream after. No, I'm not going to do a double stream tonight. That will be saved for next weekend. Hey, it makes you guys look forward to something, right? So, I will be doing a video on the snowstorms across the northern tier. That are coming up over the next couple of weeks. All right. But please take the survey if you guys have not already. So if you guys have not taken the survey, I need more people to take this survey. Please. The more people that take this survey, it's going to help out a lot. All right. So, interesting. My thumbnails are not really clickbaity. I still think they are. But in a good way. Good clickbait versus bad clickbait. So if you, again, have not taken the survey, there is a link. There's a link pinned to this chat, all right? And also, I will be promoting this in every bit of my videos, all right? This is important. If you, again, have not taken the survey, please, please, please take it, okay? Feedback is critical. It is critical. for the channel to be successful. That way I know what you guys want me to do and what you don't want me to do. All right. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. Thank you guys for watching Saturday Night Live here on the channel. As always, talk to you guys tomorrow afternoon with an update on our upcoming weather pattern. Looks pretty interesting. All right. Peace out. Ba, ba, ba.